First Corinthians 9:4. Don't we have the right to eat or drink? Yes, we do, but we're not to be a stumbling block to our brother or sister as he goes on. It's more important to win people to the Lord. Okay, Luke 7:14 through 17, or probably 15. Hold on. Luke 7, yeah, 14 through 17. Okay. He went up to the open coffin and touched it, and the man who were carrying it stood still. For him to do this would mean him being taking a risk of becoming unclean. Him taking a risk to become unclean. He was taking a risk becoming unclean. Coming in contact with the coffin, or a dead body, or a grave, would make one unclean. So, Jesus' solution of not being unclean would be raise the boy from the dead. Young man, he said, get up. So the dead man sat up and began to talk, and Jesus gave him back to his mother. So he raises his boy from dead. Based on him carrying the coffin, it's just the death just happened, which the argument would have been, well, the spirit was still hovering over the body, so he wasn't really dead. This would have been the excuse, and he would have answered this when he raised Lazarus. They didn't have that excuse then. But either way, this is a miracle. He raised the boy from the dead. You don't plan a funeral if the person ain't dying. Everything's happening. Okay. Now, verse 16. Then great fear swept through the crowd because of him having that much might. They clearly saw it as a miracle, even though the Pharisees would have denied it. And they praised God. So this fear brings reverence. We should have a fear of God that brings a reverence. You know, our fear needs to lead to his reverence in him, because he has love for us. And our love should be what brings us to praising him, not fear. Fear is temporary, fear is an emotion, love's beyond that. A mighty prophet has risen among us. So they're worshiping God because they see Jesus as a prophet, which means they're not really seeing him for all he is. We have seen the hand of God at work today. They're accepting it as a miracle and Jesus being a servant of God, but they yet don't get the connection here. This news about him went through all Judea and all surrounding areas. So the news of Jesus spread. Now, there'd be people that see him as God, but many people would see him nothing more than a teacher, a prophet, a miracle worker. It's important we see him for who he actually is, no matter what people say he is.